Hey there, guys. Welcome to this recording of me trying to figure out who I am. Okay, let me be more clear. I gotta figure some stuff out. And this is stuff that I thought I'm just gonna do this privately. I'm gonna sort of do some thinking here by myself. But I thought, you know what, let me actually walk through this in a video and record this for you guys because it might be interesting. But this is for me. I need to figure some stuff out of who FeelGoodKenny is. All right, so FeelGoodKenny is just what I decided to call myself here on YouTube. I changed my channel name to this a while ago, and I've explained this before, but I'll explain it again. That the reason why I changed my name to FeelGoodKenny is because I learned and I realized that the number one thing that I want in my life is to feel good, because so much of my experience has been sort of overwhelmed by so much negative emotions, and those negative emotions are depression, loneliness, hopelessness, hating myself, just feeling insecure about myself. So I realized that, well, what are you looking for in life? Well, I could say, I guess I'm looking for happiness. I don't know. What am I looking for? Happiness? Am I looking to be confident, a confident individual? There's different emotions that are more specific than just being happy, like being at peace, being content, feeling a ton of joy and blissfulness, or you know. A lot of what I want is to just have fun with people, right? Tell jokes, laugh, be silly, be stupid, play some games, and that type of having fun happiness, that type of feeling good is different than a feeling good, which is like, oh, I love my life. I'm satisfied with what I'm doing. I feel fulfilled, right? Fulfillment is a different specific type of thing rather than just like self-confidence. So there's all sorts of positive emotions out there. I think a quick Google search will probably get you a whole list of different positive emotions, right? And we'll talk about those on this channel in the future. But, I changed my name to FeelGoodKenny to represent that this is who I am. It's what I care about. It's the most important thing to me. Is not just feeling good about myself and feeling good about my life, but I want to somehow, over the course of the entirety of my life, over the years, I hope to produce content on YouTube that people benefit from and help. I want to help others on their journey as well to develop self-confidence and to, find fulfillment in life, find a meaning in life, get out of some sort of depression. I want to encourage other people to be better, right? So I created this, identity of FeelGoodKenny, not just as a channel name, but it's sort of, I want to step into being this different persona almost. And so I never really thought about it for much longer than that. What I just told you guys is a lot of what I've thought about. And I have not yet truly put into practice a lot of the things that I just mentioned, right? I haven't really made a lot of content on the channel. I haven't really done much to reach this goal I have, or to become this person that I want to be, right? So here's sort of me just trying to work things out. Okay, what do I want to do? Well, number one, I got to just start making more content. I mean, that's the obvious thing. But yeah, it is a question of like, what specifically am I trying to do? And I'll get into that, but I want to talk a lot about, real quick, I want to talk about sort of what I'm influenced by. Because I think that what I'm influenced by, the people that I'm influenced by, who will inspire me, who I look up to, who I admire their content, and whose content, the things that they produced, are things that I would like to produce things at some point in my life similar to them. You know, I've said this a couple times already in this video. I say at some point in my life, I want to accomplish these things. So I have a long-term outlook on things. You know, I know that I really struggle with always procrastinating and pushing things back and never getting stuff done. You know, if you just look at my YouTube channel, like, you know, sometimes it's like an entire year or several months in between me putting up content. Okay. So I gotta obviously, I want to give myself time to develop myself and to develop, you know, I'm not in a hurry. I think that in my early 20s, I absolutely felt a lot of pressure of, oh, you know, I'm 18 years old. I need to become a YouTube celebrity by like 24. You know, like I do remember when I started up a YouTube channel and I saw all the people that were really successful on YouTube. I'm like, okay, I would love to get to their point. I want to be a top YouTuber, you know, by the time I'm 24. You know, I want, or not top. I was never like that, you know, optimistic, but I want to become like a full-time YouTuber by the time I'm like 24, 25, right? And I had these thoughts when I was 18, right? Now, obviously, I don't have what it takes to do that. Like, I think at this point in my life, it's fair to say, I sort of missed that window. I didn't put in a lot of effort back then when I was in my early years but here's the thing. Here's the thing, guys. In my early 20s, when I was 18, when I was 19, when I was 20, 21, 22, 23, I truly was not ready to become whatever it is that I've always wanted to become. Now that I'm 30, about to turn 31, at the time of recording this, I'm like a week and a half away from turning 31. And here's the thing, is I know I've got time, you know, but that's the beauty, is like, you know, like I have the next, assuming that I can stay healthy and that nothing horrible happens to me, I have all the time in the world. I have all the time in the world to perfect the individual that I am. I have all the time in the world, assuming that I can, again, make it that long through good health and good fortune. I have all the time in the world to perfect the individual that I am, and to truly identify and clarify whatever messages it are, whatever message it is, or whatever messages that they are, that I want to spread to other people through social media. And I have all the time in the world. Once I figure out exactly what I want to say to people, I have all the time in the world to spend creating a product. By that, it's probably just, I probably just am meaning YouTube videos. But, you know, I've considered, you know, other types of things like music. I have absolutely zero musical talent. I don't think that I would ever be able to successfully create any kind of music that would be good. But, you know, there's a lot of artists out there, musical artists, who are very capable, and if I can collaborate with other people to create something, a vision that I have, and work together with other people, you know, like there's all sorts of different things that I can do with all sorts of different kinds of mediums. And on that note, on the creative aspect of creating something, I want to talk first of all about an individual who is extremely inspiring, who is one of the most talented people of my generation, our generation. I mean, he's 5 years older than me, and that is Bo Burnham. We are going to look back at Bo Burnham as being one of the greatest talents of this generation. He's 35 years old, right? I just looked it up. Listen, the reason for me recording this is because, one of the reasons why I'm recording this is because I just got done rewatching his Inside special. I rewatch his stuff quite frequently, and there's a couple things that he's said in his specials, all of his specials, but they really hit. What he delivers really hits like certain lines he says. For example, in his Make Happy special, you know, when he's doing his Kanye rant at the end, when he turns the lights down and he starts being open about, you know, things, and he says, you know, come and watch the skinny kid with a steadily declining mental health who is trying to give you, he's trying to give you what he cannot give himself. When I first watched that special, you know, I didn't get the line correct exactly, but, you know, when I first watched that special, that line, that delivery, I felt that in my soul. I felt that. And you know, because through the years of me uploading videos to my channel where I break down and cry and I talk about how I feel sad about myself, or I hate my life, and how I'm just a complete failure who's wasting time and I'm not going anywhere, and you know, and all these things, which are true, have been true, and it's reasonable for me to feel those things, you know, but what I want is, I don't want to feel like that, you know, and what I want is, I want to be able to help other people, you know, not be like me, or if they feel like me, to know that you're not alone and that you can get better and this and that, right? So like, my intention or my desire, what I want is, I want to be able to help people. Right? So that line that Bo Burnham said in his Make Happy special, I kind of connected to it. I was like, oh yeah, no, I want to help other people get better, but dude, I can't even help myself. You know, I can't even do that. You know, and then in his Inside special, there was this scene where the camera, right before it switches over into his what is it? Look Into My Eyes. What's it called? Is that the name of it? What's the name of it? All Eyes on Me. That's what it's called. I was trying to remember what it was called. Right before he switches over to. By the way, if you guys haven't watched the Inside special and you don't know what I'm talking about, if you don't know Bo Burnham, like, this might not be. You might not be able to understand what I'm saying. Bo Burnham is extremely talented because of his ability. He is, you know, he says that he has a background in theater, and he sort of applied that to stand-up comedy, but his stand-up comedy is not really like a comedy show, like a typical stand-up comedy show. It's like a whole performance. It's like a one-man show. It's like he's comedy, music, but also he like delivers some serious stuff in it. Like, one of my favorite things from him is Art Is Dead, and that is not comedy. Art Is Dead is just a man, it's a statement. It's a it's a it's so real, you know, and I don't even know how to describe it, but the thing about him, well, the thing about him is like he's always talking about being a performer, right? And if you listen to his a lot of the things that he talks about in everything he does, is it all comes back to performing for him and his anxiety around performing, or his feelings about himself, or whatever, you know. And so he sort of has that identity of like being a performer, being on stage, talking about being a performer, and so like that's sort of what you think about him as. You know, you might also think about him as being a you know, mentally unwell, you know, like somebody with a lot of anxiety and stuff, and you know, that sort of thing. And but you know, so if I can bring this back to like, I'll get to his what I was gonna say about his all eyes on me thing in a second here, but if I can just think about myself, you know, like I the question that I have for myself is, what are people going to recognize about me? What if I am able to successfully deliver on making content around something about this, what are people going to think about me as, or how are people going to remember me, you know? Or you know, what am I all about, essentially, you know? And I think that a lot of it is going to be like, I feel like a failure, or I'm somebody with a lot of potential. You know, I'm pretty, I'm relatively intelligent and talented. I mean, I wouldn't say talented, but for somebody of my level of intelligence and awareness, I think awareness is probably big as well. Self-awareness. I think self-awareness. I think, you know, I don't want to be, I don't want to sound like I think I have more self-awareness than what I actually do. But I think I'm hoping that the thing that people will recognize about me is just the extreme amount of self-awareness that I have. And there's more. There's other things, probably. But self-awareness, self-reflection, that sort of thing is what I am all about, you know? And I think a lot of people that are, there's a lot of people that are like me, you know? I know I'm not the only one, but I do think that there's something here that I have, and I'm trying to tap into the thing that, like, I need to reflect even more, because I need to know what it is that I do best. Because if I want to deliver anything for other people, I need to know what I'm good at and how I can do that. Because I'm not good at a lot of things. You know, I don't have a lot of technical skills and talents, you know? So, like, I want to make YouTube content at some point that is good, but, like, I don't know how to do that. You know, I don't know how to make good stuff, you know? So, you know, like, I want to make cinematic. I want to make cinematic stuff. I want to learn cinematography skills and apply it to making YouTube videos. But I have none of those skills right now. I don't have the technical skills, and I have a fear that if I did try to learn and start getting into it, that it wouldn't be that great, at least at the beginning, you know? So, like, if I'm starting a journey right now, which is to learn how to produce good videos, to tell a good story, or to deliver a good message, it's going to take me years from this point forward to actually become the thing that I want to be. And that's why I think it's so important for me to share this message with you right now in this video, as I sit here and try to figure out who I am, because this is a point where, yeah, I can look back on this moment in 10 years and say, oh, that's the moment when he, you know, made a change, you know? That's a moment when he, you know, really started taking things seriously. And you know, the fact is that I've had several of these types of moments in my past, over the past 10 years, where I thought this is the moment when I become this new version of myself. And then I just kind of let it go and I forget about it. And I seem to have this pattern of wanting something. Maybe it's sort of, maybe I'm fantasizing about something right now. And that's sort of a bad thing. Because if I'm just fantasizing about myself being something that I'm not yet, and if I don't do the things to get there, and like then this is a sad story, right? Then, you know, this is a story of me once again getting my hopes up, hoping I can change, and just not. And I'm gonna feel bad about myself, and I don't want to feel that. So I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm going to do some things. I'm sure I'm not going to accomplish a lot of the things that I want to accomplish, but I'm going to accomplish some things. I'm going to do something. They might be little things, but they're going to be little things that get me in the direction that I want to go in. And over time, in 10 years, each little thing that I do, in the grand scheme of things, I can look back and say, I'm glad I did those little things. Maybe I didn't get the big thing that I wanted, but I did the little things, and I'm glad I did. Now, back to Bo Burnham real quick. I've kind of already gotten past this point, so there's really no reason to go back to the point, but I did start talking about something, and then I quit talking about it. And that is, there was this moment where, like, the camera, just like, he zooms in on a camera right before he switches over to all eyes on me, and he's breaking down. He is crying. And that moment, like, brought me to tears, I think, the first time I saw it, because I see myself, like, right now I'm looking into a camera. I can see this camera right here. I'm looking right into it, you know. And the thing is, I can't see you. I can't see anybody who's watching this. I'm talking to a camera, right? Knowing that at some point, when I upload this, there's going to be a human being who sees this. And so I have to be able to communicate my thoughts very effectively in the privacy of my own home while I'm alone. And perhaps I sound like a crazy person. Perhaps without the context of this being a YouTube video, it would look crazy what I'm doing right now. If aliens were looking down on me, they could look through my ceiling and my roof, and they could just see me just sitting here talking to some object. Like, I don't know. Maybe aliens, they would know what a camera is. Imagine aliens never develop cameras. Anyway, we're getting off topic here. Again, I'm not really trying to entertain you right now, right? This video, this is for me. This is for me. A lot of these videos that I'm going to start making in the future are going to be for me first and foremost, because I have a lot of work that I need to do for myself. I need to really think through a lot of things. So I get inspired by a lot of people. Like Bo Burnham, certainly somebody that I get inspired by. Another person that I really am inspired by is Ze Frank, and more specifically, his earlier stuff on YouTube. He's still around, technically speaking, but like the stuff that he did, he is the original sit down vlogger. He made everything what it is today. If you guys don't know who Ze Frank is, he was one, like, literally when YouTube first came out, he was like the first person doing it. And, you know, back before you knew what YouTube was, he was doing it. And you know, some of the videos that he has uploaded that were not his earlier stuff, like I don't even know if you can watch his earliest stuff anymore, because it might be all off YouTube, but he might have privated all the videos and whatnot. But there's a bunch of videos that came out around 2012 or so. You know, again, by that point he was already doing YouTube for 5 years, you know, or more, you know, however long YouTube's been around, you know. And you know, there's a video called An Invocation for Beginnings. And that video I go back to that video and I watch it like once a year. That video meant so much to me. And his style of making videos, right? So first of all, the reason that people like the jump cutting thing that people do, like I feel like he kind of came up with that. Like maybe not literally, but the way that people would do vlogs just sitting here and then they would jump cut and then they would, you know, I don't know, do different things and you know, like he definitely sort of started a lot of that. Not to say that cutting video is a necessarily new technique, but from what I remember somebody saying, you know, maybe I'm wrong about this, maybe this isn't true, but he definitely started a lot of that stuff. Early days of YouTube stuff. So the thing is that I mean, if we can talk about that, I mean, the landscape of YouTube right now is different. And you know, at this point, everybody can make YouTube videos, and you know, that's the thing, is like I feel like if I'm really being honest, I'm very sure, maybe I'm not, I really believe that my content would not be able to stand out unless I really did something super different, you know? And I don't know what that is right now exactly. And it's gonna be hard because, like, if I'm gonna be making videos that are more on the serious emotional side of things, you know, like if my focus is on self-awareness and like talking about insecurities and people with low self-esteems and, you know, wanting life to be more meaningful and searching for a purpose in life, and I don't feel fulfilled, and, you know, if I tend to talk about the negative emotions that come from a person who experiences a lot of negative emotions, you know, if I talk from that perspective, like that's a very specific audience, you know, and like that's not for everybody. And even the people that struggle with their mental health, even the people that are, you know, highly introverted, insecure, whatever it is, even they might not want to watch videos about somebody talking about it, you know? Like, I don't always want to go for that sort of sentimental stuff. You know, a lot of times I just want to watch a silly video. People, you know, comedy, you know, or just I'll tune into like a live stream of you know, people playing video games, you know. So, you know, I think about that in terms of like also, like, I don't necessarily want to make depressing videos. I mean, I do, to be honest. I mean, a lot of the stuff I want to talk about is depressing and very, very real, you know, and, you know, and again, I don't even have all the ideas already figured out about what I want to talk about or how I want to deliver a message, but okay, what if I can make a video funny, entertaining, and make it serious and get people thinking about, you know, life and, you know, deep, right? So I want there to be depth, right? Deepness, you know? Like, I want somebody to watch my video and be like, wow, that was deep. But I worry that if you don't hit people with a joke right away, people need their ha-has, you know? If you don't get people's attention with something, then they're not gonna appreciate the deepness. And I can kind of tie that back to Bo Burnham. Bo Burnham, he hits you with some really serious stuff. I cried in Make Happy the first time I saw it. I cried watching Inside the first time I saw it. But he's a comedian. He makes jokes as well, right? So it's like there's a lot of people who, like, especially him, as he's an extreme example. Again, I think he's a extremely talented person of our generation, you know, of this generation, I should say, of the 30, 35, 40, whatever. You know, he's 35 right now, right? So I'm 30. I'd say we're close enough in age, right? We're in the same generation, you know. And I think he's so talented. But so I don't, the thing is that I've always been a boring person, you know, like I've always been very much not the life of the party, not great at joke. I mean, I can't say I'm bad at joke telling, but not very experienced. Maybe is. I think I can listen. I just need to sit down and I need to write some jokes. I need to just, you know, like I want to just get some practice in it and make see. So I almost feel like the future of this channel is gonna be me attempting to learn how to make people laugh in videos and also make them feel something on a deeper level in my videos, and how to combine them. And I'm hoping that over time they get better and better and better. But, you know, it's just, I don't know. I am worried. I'm worried that I really won't be able to do what I want to. I have a lot of visions for stuff. You know, I do, you know, the people that I'm inspired by are the people that sort of have a lot of video skill. And I think that's where I need to apply my talents. So, like I mentioned Zay Frank, I mean, like he did good video editing, production stuff. I mean, nowadays the things that he used to do in the past when he started, now the things that he was doing back then are the things that everybody's doing now, right? So, you know, just with adding text and jump cuts, or, you know, zooms in or zoom out in like YouTube videos, all those things probably like he was doing before everybody else, but like nowadays it's just standard, you know. And you know, the person who you know the person who transformed and created the world that we know of people vlogging out in public, who did that first, who did it very well? Casey Neistat. He's also somebody that I am highly inspired by. Of course, I haven't really watched a lot of his stuff recently, but like a year or two ago, I went back and I started watching his videos from the first vlog, and I watched a bunch of them, like, and I just watched them, and like, he has experience making movies, and he brought his experience making movies to YouTube and doing daily vlogs. So the production of his vlogs, he had some of the best vlogs. He still has, if you go back and watch his vlogs, they're like incredible. And by him doing that, now other YouTubers have taken the things that he did and started doing them. So now again, when you look back at what he did, you know, you might think, oh, this is just a regular vlog. I watch people vlog today and their vlogs look the same as his. Yeah, but he was the first one doing it, right? He was the first one doing it. So it's just, you know, when I look at Bo Burnham, when I look at Casey Neistat, when I look at Zay Frank, I'm using these 3 people as examples, and I realize, why do I like them so much? Because they are able to deliver whatever their message, and they're good at creating something, right? And I need to be able to develop some sort of talent, some skill at like video editing, cinematography, whatever, to get my message out there, because that is going to be the best, because then you guys will actually want to watch my videos, right? And you know, like I just see, this is just the predicament I'm in right now is I have not really taken any steps in the right direction to actually improve and progress my abilities. And so the things that I want to do are just fantasies, you know? They're just dreams and hopes and desires, and you know, it's like, imagine I just wanted to be a chef, and I just sat around all day thinking about all the food I wanted to make, you know, instead of just getting out a cutting board, you know, sharpening a knife and just, you know, getting the ingredients and just putting it together and trying to make something, you know? Like, literally, I'm sitting here and I'm just thinking about what I want to do. And that is a problem that I am struggling to overcome. And this is not a new problem. This is kind of like writer's block, but I don't know if it's really writer's block. It's like, I think if I actually sat down and said, okay, I need to create something. Let's make something. Let's do something. Then I think I could actually make something good. The problem is that I just procrastinate, and I don't know what it is. And I think that's for another video, you know? But I want to kind of end here by talking a little bit more about who is FeelGoodKenny. You know, what do I want FeelGoodKenny to be? Because FeelGoodKenny almost feels like a character that I want to be. But FeelGoodKenny is not really a character that I want to be. It's crazy. I think that people sometimes there's a weird dynamic, I think, that happens as people age, or maybe young people, when young people are like going through this like transformational period of their early 20s or whatever, or from your young teens to being an older teen, or you know, whatever. I think that some people have dramatic changes in who they are, and I think it's because they sort of adopt a persona almost, and they, like, you know, the phrase fake it till you make it. There's somebody who had like a TED talk and maybe has a book or something. Is it Brene Brown? Something like that? I don't know. I remember watching a TED talk from her like 10 years ago, you know, and you know, one of the lines that I really found memorable from her TED talk was, you know, it's not fake it till you make it, it's fake it till you become it. You know, and I don't know if you guys saw the same. I don't know if you guys know her or her work or whatever, or if you saw that TED talk, but not fake it till you make it, fake it until you become it, you know? And what that means is you're gonna feel like you're an imposter, right? The imposter syndrome. You're gonna feel like you're not gonna be able to do the thing or be the thing. But if you pretend like you are good enough to be that thing, or if you pretend like you are that thing, you will step into becoming that. You will become it eventually. And like, I sometimes wonder if some changes we see in people and their identities or whatever, their behavior. I wonder if people kind of put on sort of a fake persona, like they're being a character, and then eventually like that character that they're pretending to be is just who they are at some point, like an alter ego kind of thing, like you know, like for me, when I look at who I am at a base level, it is this really sort of sad, depressed loser that always is procrastinating, that always is dealing with self-hatred and so socially anxious. And so I think that I've almost created this, again, it's kind of like a fantasy. I've almost created this ideal self. And I say, okay, there's this really depressed loser right here who's not going anywhere in life. But then there's this really happy, confident, creative individual who's, not afraid and who's, not socially anxious, and who's just spreading joy to other people, and I imagine that that's what I want to be. The leader that I want to be, the role model that I want to be. I imagine this person as being who I want to be. But meanwhile, at a base level, I do still feel like this person is who I am. This is regular me. This is the me that I know of myself when I was a teenager. I still struggle with a lot of things to this day, but I am trying to become this thing. And I think that when I say I'm FeelGoodKenny, I almost feel like that's this persona, almost like a character that I am, but not really. I say not really because I haven't really expressed that in these videos. I thought about that though. Like, what if I started up what if like my next video I started, I just like, what if I dressed in like a costume or something, like wore a wig or I don't know. It was like, no, this is FeelGoodKenny. That I think is taking it too far, but it's funny though because there is I don't know if you guys are familiar with this guy, the Dr. Disrespect guy. Again, he's somebody that, man, if it wasn't for the crap that came out about him, which is so just horrible and disappointing, I really liked what he was. Again, he's somebody that I looked up to as well because of his talent at his production. Like, nobody in the world of video games does what he does. Nobody. He's so different in a great way than other people when it comes to the production of his content. And this is the kind of thing that I'm so attracted to and admiring. And it sucks that he had it sucks that it turned out that he I don't know all the details of it, but like I was following it when it happened, but like supposedly messaging a minor or something, and it's like, man, you can't ever like, dude, this is a guy I genuinely was rooting for, and it just sucks, man, to have people have things like that, but I still look at what the guy does as, speaking of, he's like a character, right? So he's a character. He literally dresses up in a wig, and he pretends that he's this, like what is his character exactly? Like he pretends like he's first of all, he's called Dr. Disrespect, so he's always, you know, being disrespectful to people, and um, you know, his character is that he's better than everybody, and he has all this money, and you know, people love him, and he's like a star, and it's very ego driven, but he plays into it. But you know, behind the scenes, he's not really like that, you know, and but I wonder with a guy like that is like, is that what he wants to be? You know, does he is like, is there this part of him that like just wants to be this center of attention, you know, millions of people just loving him, and you know, like I don't know, like maybe that's where the inspiration for his character came from. I don't know. But okay, I'm not gonna go full like down the path of Dr. Disrespect. Well, in more ways than one, but I'm not gonna go down the path of you know, putting on a wig and pretending I'm, you know, some character or whatever. So what is Feel Good Kenny? What is Feel Good Kenny? Who is Feel Good Kenny? What am I trying to, what do I want with this guy, this character, this name for myself? What do I want? Because like I told you at the beginning, sort of what Feel Good Kenny is, right? Feel Good Kenny, the channel name, the change comes from, you know, my desire to feel good, right? So the desire is, I really hate how much I struggle with my feelings. So I know, number one, Feel Good Kenny, if there is sort of a persona, character, guy thing in there about this thing, it is going to be confidence. Right? It's got to be confidence. I want to display confidence, for sure. I think I'm going to need confidence to just be my best self, you know? But it's like, in reality, I'm not that guy all the time, you know? Like, I'm not the guy that's, like, super happy all the time, you know? So, like, I don't know if I am going to... Like, I don't think I'm going to try to, like, pretend like I'm happy all the time or confident all the time in my videos, you know? Like, I don't think that's what I'm going to do. Because there is a side to me that is so deeply introspective, and, you know, again, I try to be as self-aware as possible, and I enjoy reflecting on life and feelings, and I just you know, I can sit here for hours just thinking about, man, you know, you know, just like, what does it mean to be human, you know? Like, when I think about, like, just people and just myself and life, like, I can sit here and just, you know, again, like, you guys can't, you guys don't know what's going on in my mind right now, but, like, there's, like, all these, like, thoughts just swirling around in my head, and a lot of it's just kind of vague, you know? Like, some of it's just, like, you know, I think that's the hard part about, like, creating things, is, like, even just speaking, by the way, like sometimes I try to record a video and I want to explain something, like even this one. Like I want to explain something and then I watch myself back after I recorded the video and I'm like, that did not sound nearly as clear when I watch it back. Like I didn't really explain things the way I wanted to. In my head, I knew exactly what I wanted to say and what I meant by what I meant, right? But then when I watch it back, it's like, no, that's wow, I need to improve, you know, in that area as well. So like it's just crazy because like I think that's what art is. That's what creating things is how do you express the things that you feel or the things that you think or believe or whatever in a way that is consumable to other people, meaning other people can take in what you are expressing, right? Because again, if you're not the best at communicating, if you're not the best at creating something that other people can interpret or that other people, you know, it's like music, you know? Why does some music sound so good to us? You know, there's somebody who had to create that music and they were, you know, kind of going with the flow or they were just kind of doing what sounded right, you know? But like, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there, like myself, if I tried to make some music, it would sound like a bunch of things that should not go together, some noises that should not go together, you know? It's just a bunch of noise, you know? And there's an art to, people are talented, there's an art to putting things together in a way that sounds good. So, see, that's the dilemma I'm in. And I talked about this earlier, is how do I make something, or whether it's just a video, just talking, like maybe it is just me talking like this, but like how do I get better and find a way to spread what's going on in my head, you know, to express what's going on in my mind to other people, you know, because like I said, like I can just close my eyes right now and I can just think about like everything, man. The universe, how we're all connected to each other, how we are searching for meaning and connection with others. And, you know, I can think about just the nature of reality and what it means to have purpose in life. And I can just think about all these things, and yet I don't know how to put into words, or I don't know how to put into I don't know how to express a lot of the things that I like that I sometimes think about. And sometimes I'm walking around and I just wish that I literally, I have you know, my notes on my phone, you know, every once in a while I will take out my phone and be like, oh, I need to write this down. I don't know if I'm ever going to include this in like making a YouTube video or something, but I'm like, I feel like this is like a thought that I had that I need to save, you know, like I can somehow do something with this, you know, at some point. I should just go through my notes right now, just, you know, just read them and see if anything is important. But so who is FeelGoodKenny? Well, it's me, first of all, obviously. And it's just me. I'm just a guy that wants to feel good, and I want others to feel good. I want to be able to love myself. I want to be confident in who I am. I want to find meaning in my life. I want to feel like I have a sense of purpose. I want others to have those things as well. I believe that we all can transform ourselves and change and improve and build upon the things that we are. So who is Feel Good Kenny? That's who I think that is. It's just me. It's just me being the best me that I can be. It is the version of myself that I always wished I was. And that's it.